a podcast created by two guys brought together by movement, transformed into brotherhood. The boys share their authenticity as they deep dive into what it means to explore this human experience. Shedding light on personal trials and accumulated wisdom, Conscious Collingwood is meant to provoke thought and insight to expand your personal awareness. Come along for the journey as Justin and Jeff exemplify what it means to be a man living wholeheartedly, balancing the divine, masculine, and feminine. Welcome to Conscious Collingwood.
Watch any good movies lately? What a trip, dude.
Yeah. Actually, my brother got me onto the show, and I don't really watch Netflix, and recently I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to start taking advantage of it.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Story time.
Yeah.
What show?
So he got me onto the show called Tires with Shane Gillis and some other comedians.
Oh, fuck.
Dude, it is hilarious.
I could use a little bit of light in my
Like,
life.
it's like watching a comedy routine just play out in TV in 22 minutes. It's like every line there's a funny moment.
Oh, that's good.
And it's your type of humor, you'll piss your pants.
I love that shit.
My brother and I were going over it the other day, and he's like literally almost in tears reenacting a scene, repeating a line.
Yeah.
And it's just very subtle,
Yeah.
you know? It's fucking hilarious. And they've got a season 2 coming out. It's one of those things where you just hope they don't screw with the recipe.
Yeah. The recipe's good.
Yeah.
Just keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking funny.
I was actually watching Tony Hinchcliffe's. He's got this little TV show called Kill Tony.
Yeah.
And Shane Gillis is on there dressed as Trump.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, it was some of the shit they say. I've always thought of myself as an amateur comedian since the day I was born, so I really admire that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that Kill Tony. I see a lot of their clips when I go through YouTube shorts or whatever. But like, yeah, there's some pretty funny stuff in there.
Would you say you're a funny guy?
Yeah.
Do you try to be funny?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think I try and be funny. Like I'm looking for every situation to go, okay, I need to be seen here. But I feel like I'm pretty witty.
Yeah.
And
why?
What's that?
Like why?
Why am I witty?
Yeah, why are you? Why? Where does that come from?
I actually think it comes from my dad.
Nice.
His wit might come from being critical, but it's still very quick.
Yeah.
But no, I think there's I think my sense of humor and the wit and the quickness comes from him because he has a sarcastic type of humor, and I think I'm similar, but I love it. Like, not that I looked for it, but like the other day in that group text, the New Year's one, knowing that, you know, I made Ari just like laugh out loud, I was just like, yeah.
Dude, that was funny.
And one of my
Sorry.
This is gonna be a what? But yeah, like making Terry belly laugh is one of my most favorite things to do ever.
Yeah. Oh, that's good stuff.
Especially after 20 years, you're like, you can still.
You think I'm funny still?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That means you're funny.
Yeah.
That means you're actually funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know anybody in my family that's funny other than my dad, my stepdad. I was funny before him, but then he really helped inform me to be more strategic.
Yeah.
He's like a hyper intelligent dude.
Mm-hmm.
And his sense of comedy is pretty good. And then I just accumulated knowledge from movies.
Yeah.
And then I was so over school the moment I stepped into a classroom that, there we go. Let's make it interesting. Yeah.
And it's so crazy, like, humor is medicine.
Mm-hmm. And my life was so intense when I was younger that I think subconsciously I was like, okay, if I can make people laugh, like, This is
Yeah,
the good
bring some
stuff.
levity to the situation. You're stressed out, don't want to be in school. We got to make this some fun into this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I know if I've been in the depths of despair and whatever else, it can be an easy way out.
Mm.
Watch a Tony Hinchcliffe clip or something and give yourself a chuckle. You're like, oh, well, life isn't so bad.
It's not that
You know.
bad. Yeah.
I don't think you're going to use it to get yourself out of some really darkness, really darkness. But you know, if you're in your woes in a day or something, it's just like it can snap you out of it pretty quick.
A moment of levity.
Yeah.
Actually, when I went to California the first time to do holistic life coaching level 1, they said one of the pieces of homework at the end of the day was to laugh for a minute, just by yourself. If you're not laughing, like if there's nothing to make you laugh, you just laugh, and you'd be pretty surprised.
Yeah.
It helps.
And something like that, it builds momentum,
Yeah.
right? And I wonder what those chemicals would be.
I don't know the laughter chemicals. No.
Big
Oxytocin,
Be a question for Paul.
serotonin.
But yeah, and you're building momentum and levity, and so you're just building good feelings.
Amen. Yeah. Shake it up a bit. I think we talk about this a lot, but you're the master of your chemistry, so.
Think about how important a jester was back in the day.
Oh yeah. I was.
You
a
would have
jester.
been one. You would have had the hat on and the pointy
Yeah.
shoes and the bells and fucking. You would have had the whole outfit. I can picture.
Oh, I
it.
told somebody the other day. I was like, not the other day. It was months ago, but I said, I know I would have been a jester that really wanted to be a knight. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, that's funny.
But the jester was an important role because he spoke a lot of truth. He was the only one that could tease the king without, well, some kings are obviously
Yeah.
dangerous, but often it was known that the jester would make fun of the reality of the way things are to bring a little bit of levity to the truth of maybe challenge. So.
Well, look how important that is in our society today.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't for comedians to some degree,
They still do it.
who knows if a lot of the stuff isn't brought to light.
Yeah.
They're bringing up some of the common sense factors and Jesus, this math isn't adding up, and they make fun of it, and
Yeah.
it can open up your perception and go, make you think a little bit if you're somewhat of an open-minded person.
Yeah.
But
It's funny. Would you say comedians are taken seriously, or would you think that some of the messages it's not like the most valuable source?
I think like anything, it's depending on where it's coming from, how it's delivered, tone, and then reputation. Like, so if someone has built a reputation for, providing the truth, seeing both sides, bringing both sides together, then I think it has validity. But if you're, say, a young punk who's just trying to get some laughs or whatever else, it could probably miss because it might not come across as genuine or whatever. I think that's maybe a good point is seeing both sides.
Yeah.
You look at someone like Chappelle, like he can say some of the most vulgar things, but in the end, I think it's a message of unity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Trans or not, gay or not, straight or not, black, white, yellow, brown, doesn't matter. It's at the end, I think his message is unity.
Yeah.
But he'll take you down a path to get there.
Yeah. Fuck. That's great.
And if you look at some of these great comedians, the really good ones that do what I'm just speaking about, or what we're speaking about, they become philosophers. So if you look at Chappelle, George Carlin, Those are the only two I can think of it right now. But
Yeah.
you know,
Hey,
maybe
two
maybe
good
a Seinfeld to some
comedians.
degree. You know,
Yeah.
some of the greats. It becomes philosophical.
Yeah, well, when you start to dissect and write about the realities of the world, there's got to be some wisdom at the end of that.
And you think about someone who's putting themselves into the arena every time, like you're standing on a stage, potentially going to eat shit and be
Yeah.
seen for who you are, and like there's
Projecting potentially your beliefs.
yeah, like there's like public speaking is one thing, but to go up and try and get some laughs, which is a challenging thing to do, you're putting your life on the line. You're
Well, yeah, so many people take comedians personally, and that's just
not
the dumbest thing to do.
yeah.
Yeah. Funny shit.
the one that triggers me, not triggers, but like that I wonder if he crosses the line too much is like Anthony Jeselnik. Do you know him at all?
Mm-mm.
Oh, he talks a lot about kids and babies and
Yikes.
dead babies and
Oof.
just some chat, like some
Dark
dark
shit.
humor, and it's like I just wonder sometimes, like, is this guy projecting his own beliefs, like his
Ooh.
own demons into and making it feel like comedy? But it's like, you know,
Yeah.
someone like Louis C.K. who
Woo!
loves to pleasure himself,
In front of
like we all do, but
others.
in front of others.
Yeah.
And in his comedy acts, he plays that out,
Yeah.
and then he's actually doing it in real life.
Mm.
And then so that's why I say, you know, not to assert or assume that Anthony has those thoughts, but you just wonder sometimes, like, fuck me, where's that darkness coming from?
Yeah.
How much truth is there in his own life?
I know.
Ugh. Like pedophilia jokes and things like that. You're just like, all right. And then so that's my point is, like, if it came out in the news that he got caught or something, you'd be like, oh, well,
He's telling everybody.
that adds up.
You know? Yeah, that's funny. Wild.
You know?
Oh my god. Yeah, the world's a
I
very...
actually think he might offend you. You might actually go, oh,
Ooh, greasy.
that's just a
Yeah.
little tough.
Ooh, that's a hard one to swallow.
That's hard to chew on.
Yeah. Someone's got to go there, though. That's polarity.
That's right.
Someone has to.
Yeah. The funny thing about a Seinfeld too is, like, I'm not a huge fan of his comedy on stage, but I would watch every episode of the TV show.
Yeah, I really like the TV show, too.
Like, yeah, but his comedy, I'm just like, it's so vanilla. Oh, it's Sean. Is it 9:30
Hey,
already?
Sean. For sure, dude.
Hope we don't have anybody in here. Well, if we do, we'll leave.
Yeah. Will we get kicked out of here?
I know the owner.
Okay.
But yeah, if there's a reservation, we'd have to get out of here.
Yeah. Dude, can you believe that the stats on our yearly podcast listens?
7 countries?
7 countries? Toronto's our biggest city of listeners?
That could be like a cell
I
phone.
was actually
account.
blown away by that. Well, potentially people from Collingwood are in Toronto
Yeah.
listening, but a lot of commuters. But
Yeah.
still, that's a lot.
I wonder how that data is collected
79?
based on cell phone numbers or IP addresses, or I wonder how that's all collected. But
Hey, it put wind in my sails.
yeah,
It was pretty cool.
yeah, for sure. It's nice. What did you say? There's a stat that most podcasts don't get past. What did you say?
10
like
episodes.
10 episodes?
I think we're at 35, 36.
Yeah, that's fun.
We killed it.
Mm-hmm.
Consistency.
Where would you want the podcast to go? Just do what we're doing, or? I wonder sometimes if we need to be a little more specific and intentional in giving information for stuff that's worked for you and I. I think we do that in generality, but like if we need to have some episodes that go down the path of do these 3 things to fucking feel better, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you want a harder heart on?
Yeah.
Eat this fruit.
Yeah. Increase the size of your genitals
Yeah, I don't.
by three times
Yeah.
by eating turnips. I know. I think about that too, but I don't know. I think what we're doing is working. That's what I reflected from the numbers. I do think I would love this. This is my favorite part of the week. This is one of the best.
Like I've said
one of the
before,
things I love to do the
It's
most.
therapy for you and I.
Yeah. So
I think for sure guests would be fun. We need to.
we need more
to,
guests.
We need to bring in some
for
guests.
sure.
Yeah.
That's I think that's important. That's
Like-
where I want to take it.
Yeah. I just know when I hear like Evan Britton's one of the guys I love to listen to, and he's not a follow these steps to get to where you're going. It's just speaking about his enlightenment and his spiritual journey and his past, his present, everything, and just I don't know. I love listening to that guy.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's what this should be.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to change too much. Have some people on.
I also think because I'm not someone, I feel like I'm, respectfully established. So it's like I don't feel like I need to follow textbook, follow these 10 steps, follow these 3 steps. It's like, so that stuff doesn't really, I don't get engaged by that type of content.
Yeah. That's not my kind of a content either.
Yeah.
Unless it's something I'm really interested in.
Yeah.
But I do like a conversation, and just the potential wisdom that comes from that. But having people on would be really great. And Jeff's been working on a podcast studio, so
You want to call it that? Dude,
Yeah,
I'm actually kind of impressed.
yeah, you should.
I've got like these, I use this fabric for like call them curtains, and so
Yep.
I can collapse the studio if I need to and roll it up out of the way. It feels pretty cool. So it's nothing special. It's actually that type of material that's on the walls over there.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
in the
it
golf
darkened
club
out. And I
room.
think if we had a really nice piece of art in the center,
Yeah.
add a little bit of pop of color to the space.
Well, give me an idea. Like, let's work on a painting together. I'm not putting a brush in your hand, but sporting the idea would be great.
We could make some pottery just like they
2
did in
Cs.
the movie Ghost. 2 C's.
2 C's. Conscious Collingwood.
Or you just donate a piece from your gallery.
Nah, none of them wouldn't
You
make
paint
sense.
something specific.
Maybe it changes every week.
What's
I
that?
got a lot of paintings, dude.
Yeah.
I wonder which one would fit.
You should just put some stupid prices on them and then try and sell them.
I thought about that. Because I'm like, man, I have a lot of paintings.
Yeah.
And they're good. People like them, so it'd be interesting.
Yeah. This is the Justin Hyde.
Yeah.
Circa.
I painted this in a time in my life where I was eating a lot of eggs, and this represents the yolk, the depth of the yellow.
Are you doing a mandala painting for this New Year's?
I got a
Have you started?
canvas. Fuck no, dude.
No.
No. My mind has been gray.
Mm.
It's like flying in clouds right now.
It's a nice
That's what
color.
it feels like. No, it's not actually. I don't know if you've ever flown a plane, but I can't imagine flying a plane without visual, and just with your instruments is the most relaxing way to fly.
I wonder if a pilot ever goes, fuck, I hope we don't hit another plane.
You
Can you
know,
imagine? You can't see anything. You're just like white knuckle. It's like driving in a snowstorm. You're just like, fuck me.
I was listening to a podcast when I think Elon went on Joe Rogan's the first time, and I don't give a fuck if anybody's triggered by me listening to Joe Rogan. But he put it into perspective for me that because they were talking about flying cars and the systems that would have to be put in place. And the beautiful thing about flying cars is the amount of space that's up there.
Mm-hmm.
There's no road, there's just open space. And it's not linear in the sense that it's linear, but also height. So 2 planes hitting each other, it's It is like
Yeah, the math.
rare.
Yeah.
They would have to be same level, same direction, and the chances of that, because of the square footage, is really challenging
Wow.
when you think of it that
That's
way.
something to think about.
Yeah.
All the different, call them planes and axes, and just.
Because on Earth, we're on the Earth, and unless it's like a freeway where you built the freeway on top of another road, that's the only time you'll see that. But there wouldn't be congestion if we started having flying cars.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll get to see it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The Jetsons, like you think about that cartoon, it's like it's projecting the future.
Yeah, the Jetsons was good.
Meet your Jetson.
Yeah. I liked the Jetsons, man.
Yeah.
That was good TV. Good clean TV.
Yeah, the
Always
days
played after Flintstones.
Yeah. The days of waking up on Saturday morning and watching cartoons, man, that was a good feeling.
Yeah. Cartoons is
How innocent was our lives back then?
Life was beautiful when I was a kid, man. Obviously, it has challenging moments, but when I think of those times, like cuddling in a blanket, watching some cartoons, it was great. I used to cuddle with my brother. We don't cuddle anymore.
No,
Yeah, we'll
that's
hug,
probably
but-
cool.
Yeah,
But you
it's probably good that we don't.
I wouldn't judge if you did, but
I love them. Don't get me wrong, but I think it would just be weird now.
yes.
Yeah. So I went to Toronto on Friday, and I went full out yang, bro. Jess had to coach soccer at 7:30 till 9, or 7 till 9. So we had a coffee at 9, drove into the city. We stayed at a friend's, at a condo. There'll be suites you can rent, $150 a night. It was great. So we stayed there and started to get into tequila. I called you. I don't know if it was very
Right from the
appropriate,
bottle, too.
dude.
Jesus Christ.
Yo, it's pent up. It's been a minute. And
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoy tequila. Like, I love the taste of it. The thing about me is there might be a desire to drink, but if I go somewhere that doesn't offer tequila, I'll just stick to water.
Wow.
I'm not so driven for the feeling that it would be worth drinking anything else. So, but tequila was available, so started drinking from the bottle. Not like a fiend, but I was having some sips, and then made some drinks. Was feeling myself. Went out dancing. Left the club at 2:30. Yeah, I went to this underground place called Department. It was great, honestly. Like, it was really, really good. Great experience. You know when you go to a club and it's impossible to get a drink?
Mm-hmm.
Not this place.
No.
They were efficient. It was awesome. So we danced, we laughed, we had a great time. I was leaving with Jess, and I was stumbling a little bit, like nothing crazy. Like, we were just she was in my arm, and so we were just like skipping pretty much down the street, having a great little time. And I accidentally nudged a guy's shoulder.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And I didn't pay any attention to it, but he was like...
He did.
He did. He was like, "Watch where you're going, you bald-headed fuck." And I was like, wow. I didn't turn around, but Jess was like, "Did you hear that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did hear that." And, I shaved my head because I feel a little insecure that I'm going to be a bald guy one day. So I just shaved it to
Experience it.
see how it felt. Try it on. I didn't want to be afraid of it. So I thought it was a very opportune moment for someone to call me a bald-headed fuck. And you know what? The truth is, like, we were walking away, but it was like, I had to grapple with it because alcohol is one of those things that really enforce the ego.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally, like, I love to fight. I like fighting. I like the art of it. And there's parts of me that really wanted to fight this human being. And so I just told Jess, I was like, it's so interesting. And I had the awareness, like, obviously I'm not going to fight anybody. It's just stupid. And personally, I think very weak.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt it rise up in me, that desire to go for it. And then, you know, the realization of how useless it is. And, you know, that guy's just experiencing probably a similar thing. And, yeah, I thought it was so interesting. Just being able to watch it.
Yeah.
Watch it rise up in me and then be like, that's silly.
It is very interesting because if I bump somebody, my first thing is, sorry.
Yeah.
And so it's just interesting that someone else's perspective is, you know, go fuck yourself.
Watch where you're going, you bald-headed fuck. Dude, I laughed. I thought it was funny. Because it's actually a line from Step Brothers. You curly-headed fuck. So I appreciated the pull from one of my favorite movies.
Maybe he was just trying to be funny.
Not how he was saying it, no.
He was mean.
Yeah. He wanted me to know. So I just thought it was interesting.
Was he bigger? Was he bigger than you?
I don't know.
Oh.
Didn't even look.
No.
Didn't care.
Was the street crowded?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
really crowded street. Club. Everybody's getting out of the club. Like, yeah. It was a lighthearted, like.
Yeah.
Graze of a shoulder. Nothing to lose your cool over.
Yeah.
But it was interesting, you know, because I've experienced a lot of anger in my life, and it was nice to just witness it and know that I'm better than to feed into it, and to go about my night and have a honestly wonderful rest of the evening.
Mm-hmm.
So
beautiful.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thanks, man.
Dancing, letting loose, that's also medicine.
Medicine for the soul. Everybody needs to dance.
That was part of last year when I tried to have a DJ in here and amp this place up a little bit. I think it is a desire to, to bring people together through dance and stuff. And there's a need for it. But there's also, I think there's a place for it in Colin. It's just finding the right venue. And the thing is, though, this town likes to close down early.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like you need to start early.
Are we going to open a club?
No. Moguls is good enough.
The Conscious Collingwood Club?
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah. There's another bar,
podcast studio, and
yeah. There's another bar, T&T, in town that are trying to do some house music stuff. I think it's on Fridays or Saturdays or whatever. But
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have that fucking place lit. I do see myself as a little bit of a. I know this is an absolute spit in the face of all DJs, but I think I can put a pretty good playlist together for a workout class.
Yeah.
And if I was to run a club, I think I've already successfully kind of done it with my classes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's fun, we're moving, lighthearted, good music.
Yeah.
They don't know it, but
yeah. Yeah, that's when you know it's good, when it's just
Mm-hmm.
subtle and it's in the background, but it's effective.
Yeah. Gets everybody in a flow state.
Yeah.
Music's healing. Dancing's healing. Letting loose. Yeah, it was fun. My girl was wearing sunglasses in the club. I was dying. I thought it was so funny.
Yeah. Oh, you're one of them.
Oh yeah, dude. You date a Gen Z. You'll never understand, but you got a life. My God, it's a wild ride. It's pretty fun.
Gen Z.
Yeah, full of questionably good ideas, you know? Like let's go see Green Velvet in an after hours club before Christmas and make it a tradition. You know? On board. But I actually didn't feel like I felt good. I think there was a little bit of insecurity that I'd feel old at the club.
Mm.
No. I was
What was the demographic like? Mix? Or is it pretty young?
A lot of people look older than me. It was a good mix.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel out of place at all. It was great. There's a little bit of a worry there.
Really?
I'm like, I'm fucking 33.
Yeah.
Buck. Youthful vigor here. So.
If I get a chance to dance, I dance like I'm 18 years old.
Fuck, dude, I did. I had a great time. Yeah, we had fun.
Yeah. That's cool. Good for you guys.
And then Saturday, fucking total write-off.
No, really.
Oh, yeah. I didn't eat till 2 in the afternoon, 2 or 3.
Hungover or just tired? A sliver of both.
Yeah, sliver of both.
That's a lot to your system, though. When you're someone who goes to bed at 9:30, for sure before 10 o'clock.
And then you're up till probably 3:30.
Yeah.
Think about it. And then wake up at 8:30.
So I have a lot of respect for people that do shift work. I don't know how. I mean, your body gets acclimated to it and used to it, but still, like, that's a grind on the system.
Yeah. No, I think there's studies that show how deleterious it is.
Mm-hmm.
When I worked nights in construction, it would damn near kill me.
Yeah.
My mental health was off. Just, yeah, I struggled.
Mm-hmm.
But got it through and put that in the past.
Yeah.
Now I just get to stay up for fun.
Yeah. Something like manufacturing, though, is like, is it necessary to make cars all night long? Like, why not just make the cars during the day? Like, is the demand that high? It's just crazy to me that, you know, my father was a paramedic, so you have these first responder services that are kind of necessary in our world.
Essential.
Yeah, essential services. Hospitals, cops, firefighters, medics. That stuff, yeah. They're all blessings, angels. But when it comes to manufacturing and all that sort of stuff, it's like, is that stuff all really necessary to do during the fucking night?
I don't know.
What's the bottom line? They got to make money, and there's obviously demand for it, and they can't keep up.
Yeah, I guess so. Wow.
Or it's just the process.
Yeah.
Maybe the process takes long enough that they need to be doing something 24/7 almost. I don't know.
I got respect for anybody out there, like an essential worker. Oh my God, thank you. They should be paid a lot more than they are.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Big time.
Especially paramedics. I had an uncle that was a paramedic. And yeah, he was one of the most inspiring people in my life. I almost did, I applied to go into the Marines. Not the Marines here. But I wanted to do search and rescue.
Mm.
They denied me. Thank God I didn't go down that road. But yeah, it was all because he inspired me as a man.
Mm.
Yeah. Life of service.
Yeah.
But then he got PTSD, and it was wild to watch.
Yeah.
It was wild to watch. Yeah. Wrote a book about how he's about his story, how he's gonna off himself, and he'll let all of us read it. Very, very wild.
Yeah.
He was going to go up north, climb to the top of a tree, ratchet strap himself to the tree, and then he had a thing he was going to inject into his veins that would kill him slowly, or just Nice. Fall asleep. Let the birds have at him.
Oh, really? That I was going to say, what was the purpose of the tree and the straps and stuff? Wow. And just get...
And so no one would ever find his body.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
Yeah. He also watched his partner and his best friend like commit suicide and all that kind of stuff. So, you know what's crazy? My stepfather and my uncle both watched one of their best friends blow their heads off.
Really?
Yeah. It was shocking.
That's a tough visual.
It's a tough one. Imagine finding it.
No.
So no wonder, you know? They got to see some very challenging things to grapple with, and that's why I believe, you know, they are very underpaid, especially if they have to stay up at night and do shift work. And
I remember one time there was a period of time it was in the news where there was a few paramedics that were passing away via suicide, and it was happening enough. I actually called my dad and I said, "Hey, I'm just like, are you good? Like, how are you doing?" Like, and he said, "What's this about?" I said, "Well,
what is this about?
Hearing
Dad?
all this going on in the news," he goes, "Those are just bad hires."
Oh my God. Yeah.
So I think his point was like, yeah, they're just...
It's a tough job.
Tough job, but no, but they just didn't hire mentally prepared people. They didn't hire people that knew what they were getting into.
Yeah.
Do
you ever know? Would you ever really understand?
No, and I think I would respectfully say my father would have some PTSD. I don't know how you don't.
Yeah.
We have another friend of ours who's our age, who's a medic, and he's not on the roads anymore. He's like a supervisor and in a min role supporting the system. And we've had some good conversations about it. I think he does a little bit, but I also think he's someone who just understands like he has a gift, and it's just part of the sacrifice of the gift is he's going to have to deal with the unforeseeable.
Yeah.
Better him than someone else. So I have a lot of respect for him for that, just because it is, you with all the opportunities that are available in this world, and some young girl or a man, but let's use a woman as an example, wants to come in this world and be a nurse. It's just like what a noble thing. Like, and where's that calling coming from?
Yeah.
God, the universe, they plant those seeds of desires. It's already, whether it's preordained or not, but it's like these people are necessary and they're gifts. And they need to be respected more.
Yeah.
For all the things we've just talked about. Because my dad, like, when he first moved to Collingwood, he worked for a private ambulance service.
Oh.
So that gentleman could pay whatever he wanted. That he owned the business.
Yeah.
And then at some point, there was no more privatization of that and became part of the county. And so now there's a union and all that sort of stuff. But I remember my dad striking and having to really advocate for the service. So he would have made peanuts. I think a student now, a medic, can walk out of school probably make close to $100,000.
Oh, I hope.
Yeah, but I mean back in the day, I bet you he wasn't making that money near his retirement.
Yeah.
Like he worked really hard to get that profession to where it is. I have a lot of respect for what he's done as a service person. But even at that, it's like, what's $100,000? What's a life worth? Like I often wonder, like how many lives would my father have saved?
Yeah.
In his 35-year career. Actually, I don't know how long he was. I don't think he's quite 40, but yeah, he'd be 30 plus years. It's like the things he would have seen, things he would have done, things he would have saved. It's like, and that's not just him. That's every medic.
Totally. Yeah.
But to keep going on about people's like their soul, like Terry's sister, this Ashley is a fucking animal. This woman, like she is an inspiration.
Yeah.
She is someone who her ability to navigate life's challenges with a smile on her face is insane. Now I don't see her behind closed doors all the time.
Yeah.
But whenever, she's just a very optimistic and beautiful person. And so she was working at the hospital, doing blood samples and some other tech work like that. And for some reason, I think her brother got into medic school, and also I think Kevin's a firefighter as well. But anyway, it lit something up in her, I believe. But regardless how she got there, she wanted to leave what she was doing and become a medic.
Mm-hmm.
So she did the online school during COVID with a newborn.
Wow.
And so Maeve, her daughter, is like literally around her feet while Ashley's doing her curriculum, doing her tests and stuff.
Yeah.
And her scoring out, like her test average was amazing.
Yeah.
And, you know, within the couple of years of the education, she was a full medic.
Wow.
I'm just like, it's just inspiring, but it's also like she has the disposition, the demeanor to deal with the challenges. For some reason, like it's like these types of people.
Born for it.
Yeah, there's a chromosome that's missing.
Yeah.
For them, or there's a piece of the like the software.
Yeah.
That's missing, so that those people can do their stuff and not be completely affected.
Yeah. Wow.
You and I, as much as we feel, I couldn't.
I wouldn't be able to deal with the heaviness of it.
I don't think I could.
No. Sorry.
I can't even gut a fucking fish.
I could do that.
You're more of a man than I am.
I will gut a fish and I'll cut an animal apart for food. I think that's an important piece of life, but yeah, dude, fuck. My uncle actually, just to pay him some credit because he's a phenomenal man, but he dedicated his life to supporting first responders that had PTSD afterwards. So didn't take his life and made a change for the better to support people in his position.
What a gift.
Cool.
That pain's a gift, eh?
Oof.
Good for him.
Yeah. Great man.
I wonder where he would have seen or come up with the concept of, well, you've seen it in a movie or something? Like, where would you think about climbing a tree, tying yourself off? Like, that's interesting to me.
Yeah. Well, very intelligent. And
heroic, too.
Yeah.
How, like, he's like, I don't want anybody to have to find me. I don't want anybody to deal with it. I'm going to do this in the most loving way possible.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it's honestly a gift, but the Sonoda boys, aka my father and my two uncles, all very highly intelligent human beings. My dad is, God, he's brilliant. Really, really sharp as a tack. Yeah, all did amazing things.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Damn, dude.
From comedy
Fuck. How do we get there?
to PTSD of first responders.
Jesus Christ.
Woo!
That's life.
Flying cars.
Yeah.
What the fuck didn't we talk about?
What conversation is this? Wow. What should we end on?
I don't even know.
No men's group today?
No.
We had our own little men's group before this,
That's right.
which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to have someone I can talk to.
Yeah.
Um,
I secretly recorded it, so I'm gonna put that into this podcast.
Great. Please do.
No. It's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's come up with a list of guests we want on here, and let's hold our feet to the fire for the new year, and we'll come up with a schedule and stuff.
Yeah.
I heard
this
that's
podcast studio finished. We're
probably,
getting finished.
probably this weekend.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to help.
There's a couple tweaks I need to do, and then just make sure lighting is going to be okay and things like that. But
I got some ideas.
yeah,
So.
why are we even doing the studio? I think just to change the scenery.
Well, it allows for a little bit more freedom of time to book.
Yeah, morning,
people
noon, or
into the
night. Yeah,
studio.
we can do it. Yeah.
And we're making this more legit. I like the golf posters. Don't get me wrong. I think that's lovely. What is that?
That's a project I did in Peterborough.
You did this?
Yeah.
Stop.
You
That's
didn't know
really
that?
Nice. That's a beautiful barn. I
Yeah.
did not know that.
That project almost killed me. Actually, most of my projects almost killed me.
Yeah.
But
Jeez.
that one there, dude, I was probably 80% done.
Yeah.
And there was one hoor of a windstorm. I actually think there might have been
You told me about this.
tornado, like a small tornado or something.
Yeah.
But from the right side of that property, think about rolling up a towel or something. It was like God rolled that thing up like a burrito. Half that golf green got rolled up, and I probably, by estimation, had about 4 to 5 pounds of sand installed per square foot. And so that's why the whole thing didn't get rolled up, because it was heavy enough.
Holy.
But like the amount of, I just can't imagine how windy it was.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, fucking broke my heart.
Wow.
Oh, so I had to cut half it up and replace it and fix it, and it was
Really?
yeah. Yeah,
Fuck.
that job just
That's
about
heartbreaking.
murdered me. Yeah.
You see it in the morning when you rolled up?
Well, the thing
Or
is,
you get the call?
the client, great guy, but very particular, and at times had trouble making a decision and overthought things,
Yeah.
and so very detailed. And so I get a text from him, and he goes, "Hey, we had a storm here this weekend. Some of the turf got rolled up. Just letting you know, like when you come back Monday. I think I left Friday. This might have happened on the Saturday, whatever. It doesn't matter." So I'm thinking, okay, because Brian would tell me if fucking half the green was rolled up, and so I'm expecting just some turf to be like flopped up, and I've had it happen on other jobs, and just a little bit and whatever else. And when I got there, I think I was in so much shock. I was like,
Never seen it.
what? What I should try and do is I'll edit at the end of this. I'll edit in the video I made, because I had a young lad we were working with me who did film work, and so we were documenting this project, which by the way has over 100,000 views on YouTube. But anyway,
Still.
yeah,
Good for you.
120, actually over 135 views, which is kind of cool. And some funny comments.
Wait, 135,000
views.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Good for you.
and some fucking funny comments.
Yeah.
People are mean
Oh, I can only
for no reason.
imagine.
For no reason.
Yeah.
You're just like, wow, you're dark.
Yo, the online space. Be prepared.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll add that video maybe to the end of this so I can find it. But, yeah. And I remember leaving the property because I knew there was a storm coming, and I was like, I just didn't secure it enough. Because I think what would have happened is, because the turf, like a bed sheet, the wind got underneath it and just caused the movement and the momentum. Or if I had it better secured, it would have been, wind would have just blown over top of the surface, and I wouldn't have wanted to climb to the top of a tree, ratchet strap myself off, and inject myself with a medicine that would just fucking take me out.
Put you to sleep, yeah.
Holy fuck.
Woo! Cool.
Those memories are important, dude, to remind ourselves of how far
Yep.
we've come
Yep.
and how strong we actually are.
Yeah.
I forget, like, we're all dealing with our stuff in this time right now, and that's a good memory to remind myself that I can do hard things and I can get through tough times, because fuck, that was painful. Oh, lost money. It was just, it cost me some money, time.
Time's money.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that beautiful story. That's it.
Yeah.
Let's wrap her up.
Don't have any PTSD either from it. I'm okay now.
Yeah. Healed.
Yeah.
Good for you. And you never even saw a therapist.
No. I found gratitude in the situation.
Yeah. Good.
All right. That's fun. Time for the day.
Filming?
Thank you for being with us. We love recording these podcasts. If you know anyone who would resonate with today's episode, we would be grateful if you would share it with them. If you have any questions or comments, do not be shy and reach out. We would love to connect with you. Until next time, be well, love yourself, and live consciously.